Welcome back to the Creative Conversations podcast. I'm your host, Briana Elmore, and today we have an amazing guest, y'all. We have an amazing guest. She is such a multi hyphenate. She is such a light, an amazing person to know, to learn from, to be friends with, to be connected to. But aside from all those different things, she is really just a boss. Beep, beep. Okay. You can, if you know the song, you know the song. So I won't be saying it on here, but if you know the song, I'm a boss. And that's all I'm going to say. She's an awesome person, and I've had the pleasure of knowing her. But without further ado, here is Sierra McKissick.
That's a good thing. That's a good thing. Thank you for having me today.
You're welcome. Thank you for being here. First, I want you to define what you think is a boss.
What I think is a boss. Interesting. So I would say a boss is anybody who has to lead, direct, or provide like some kind of structure or framework for people or themselves to complete anything or accomplish anything.
How do you navigate now? Because I know you build everything up. And I know creatives, we be sensitive. It's our thing. It's our stuff. It's our baby. This is my whole brainchild. This is what I put so much time, money, blood, sweat, tears, no sleep, all of these things into. I put all that into this. Now I got to trust somebody else. How do you build your team up? After
Let
you're a
me
boss, how do you build that up? And how do you build that trust? Because we also discussed, like, you the leader, but you help put people in different situations to put them up, and then you like, okay, swap, you go in front of me, you can lead this, I'm here to support you. But how do you build that team up from it's you, okay, it's me, okay, it's me and you, how you get to that it's me and you,
Yeah,
and then it's me and y'all, and then it's y'all.
that part, the y'all though. I am definitely one of those creators and creatives who will fail like 20,000 times at something
Mhm.
before I bring somebody in to do it for me, simply because if you bring in, have you ever worked with somebody and you tell them what you want done and then they do it one of the ways that you've tried and it didn't work and it doesn't work for them either, right?
Mhm.
And then you're paying them to fail
To
at
make the
things you've
same
already failed
mistake.
at.
Yeah, it's like
That
we already
part.
wasted this time and money before you got here. We didn't even do
Come
it
on,
again.
somebody. And as a consultant, as somebody who does independent contracting work, I bill by the hour, honey. So if I'm paying somebody by the hour to fail at things I've already failed at,
I'm gonna
I'm
need
wasting
the.
my money.
I'm gonna need it to make sense somewhere.
Make it make sense, honey. So you need to try. I need to try. And then
Hmm.
as I build my team, I can use those questions in the interviewing process. Like, what
Hmm.
systems do you use? Oh, have you ever experienced a design issue where you couldn't get the template in the correct format and you tried to send it to publishing and they sent it back? Like, how did you troubleshoot that, right? How did you work through
Hmm.
that? So I make sure that as I'm expanding my team, I'm also looking for people who solve problems well, right? And there
Hmm.
are two ways that you can solve problems for me. You can solve problems, and every business owner will do this differently. But for me, I need the people who can give me an idea that trumps mine, or I need somebody who can just take the whole thing and go get it done. And
Hmm.
I know that when they bring it back, I'm either going to be surprised by it and love it, or they gonna go back and rework it before they even bring it to me. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
you have to know the kind of people you're looking for. I don't need somebody who's going to come to me and ask me 40 different times what I want done. I'm gonna say
Hmm.
it once, we can clarify twice, and then it's a wrap, bruh. If you ain't got it, we gotta move on because
And
we don't
usually,
have
and
time.
usually, I would tell you guys with Sierra, she sends a whole list, and it's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and it's detailed, and all those little bullets, it's detailed. Sometimes you will have questions, and y'all can have dialogue, and she does open that, and she wants to. We were clarifying something prior to this call, but we were also bouncing off new ideas and figuring it out along the way too. I think that is important. So I have to say now she's boss, like, so I feel like that boss mentality, like, you out, because it's like, did you find becoming a boss help you assert yourself, your not that it makes you more confident or less confident, but do you feel like you have to really assert yourself and be like, I deserve to be here? That imposter syndrome can't really live here too long because we got a business to run. Like that mental, how has that changed? Because I heard you give a little hint of that, but give me a little bit more of that, because I feel like because it was very direct, and also y'all, she's very direct. She's not rude, but very direct. She says that. I don't think she's like inappropriately direct, because some people be. She has said everything that need to be said. But if you have questions, that's fine. But you know, how do you get to that point of like being direct? Because some people aren't direct. You might be a creative. You might be, you know, have some leadership abilities within you too, and you may want to transition from being just a creative to being a creative in a boss capacity too. Um, so how will we transition and find that like boss, that very definitive no? And it's sometimes, and I know that I've struggled with that, even leading different teams or whatever. I wanted to be like, no, yeah, I was like, I want to be really nice. I want us to all be team, but sometimes you got to be, I need this by, if you don't have it by, then I'm done. Then you're done, and that won't be there, and we're moving on. And I know you've probably seen me do that. I've seen you do that. We both done it. Do it, and we'll do it again.
That part, that last part though, we gonna do it again. But no, I love this question that you're asking me, because this is the practical part that I love, right? This is what wakes me up in the morning. So in regards to, I know I eat this stuff for breakfast, y'all, for real. So in regards to this aspect of the self, right? And being comfortable with the sound of your own voice. You also have to be comfortable with hearing and seeing people respond to your voice, right? And that's a part that people don't really talk about. We talk about finding your voice, but we don't prepare people for other people's response, interpretation, acceptance, rejection, all of those other great things that happen when we communicate with one another. So I have always been very comfortable with the sound of my own voice, right? And standing firm in what I believe and speaking that clearly. I wasn't always comfortable with how people responded to my voice. And that came about through being in relationships, being in groups, being in organizations where you had to deal with people saying, no, I think different from you, and I don't want to believe what you're saying. I don't accept what you're saying. And you still saying, but it's right though.
You know, a lot of the times you're like, I'm my own boss, da 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 da. It's very glamorized. Entrepreneurship is amazing. It's important. We need more black owned, blah, blah, blah. But I do think that a lot of times we will see people go into that realm without understanding who they are. Right, to even be direct. So they taking you to the South Side every time they have a conversation. Ain't nothing wrong with it, but that's not going to necessarily grow. We might come to blows at a certain point. Like, it's not going to be productive for your business to grow. It's not going to be productive for your creativity to even flow. Because I think too, we're talking about the technical sense of being a boss and all that, which is amazing. It's great. It's important. However, let's flip that. As a creative, you have to have the right space to create. You cannot create freely, let alone lead, if it's a toxic environment and you don't know yourself, you don't know your goal, you don't know your business, you don't know your audience, you don't know your team that's with you. So I think all these different things, this awareness and all that, that's so it's literally imperative to be able to have that kind of sense of understanding. We're always going to go back to knowing yourself and understanding yourself, because you can't tell me how to be Briana. I can't tell you how to be Sierra, but what I can do is encourage you and help you build the environment to be the best.
Yeah.
See,
Yeah.
and you can do the same to bring the breast, Briana, and we do it for ourselves, but you also do it for those people that are around you as well. I think that is the key too, because like you said, not all correction is necessary, but you have to be able to and open to all. But sometimes you'll get some projection and it'll be like, ooh, I don't actually receive that.
When we say iron sharpens iron, those are the same elements, right? Iron is iron. So you can tell a writer how to be a better writer. But to your point, you can't tell Sierra how to be a better Sierra because you're Briana. I can't tell you how to be, because these are personalities. These are personhoods, not an action, an activity, a talent, a skill, right? And so we need to be very specific when we talk about that. And that's part of being a boss too, to be able to speak to the skill that the person needs and separate the person from the skill. Because the moment I tell you you're bad at this, I've set a label on you as a person instead of saying this was a bad piece of writing or this was a bad script. This was a bad film. That is the element, right? The product, not the person. And you have to be able to separate that, or else people never have an opportunity to see who they really are. And they never see the opportunity to grow.